Welcome back to Stateside Veterans. You got me, Randy, with you today. And we're going to be talking about a little issue, probably a big issue, happening with community care at the VA. Before we dive in, please hit the like and subscribe button. It'll help get information out to the veteran community. So I'd appreciate it if you took a quick minute and did that. So the article that we're going to go over today and the issue that we're going to talk about is provided to us by nextgov.com. I'll put a link down below. You can also see some information about this on the VA's website. But in an era where community care is becoming increasingly important, it appears that the VA is having a rather substantial problem with the software that is the backbone for the collection mechanisms that they use to receive money from the providers. Now, this is important. If you cannot receive revenue and the whole system breaks down, right? And without providers, without the whole system processing properly, you don't have community care. So title of the article is VA Unable to Collect Over $665 million in Revenue Because of a Tool Suspension, the OIG says. $665 million is not an insignificant amount of money here, guys. And for a bureaucracy with as many problems as the VA has, it would stand to reason that this would be something that they would want to identify and fix sooner than later. But as we see here in the article, this has been an on and off issue for quite some time. So continuing to read here, the VA paused its use of a tool that consolidates community care data in February 2023 after becoming aware of issues with its database code logic and of compromised stored data. We've seen this with other organizations out there that provide data services to you. How many times have you had your data, hacked? How many times have you lost it? It doesn't help when it's the VA, and it certainly doesn't help when it involves community care. So continuing to read here, the Department of Veterans Affairs has been unable to collect millions of dollars in revenue because it suspended the use of a tool that helped it determine billing claims from veterans who received community care, according to a report released Tuesday. So this is just a day or so ago by the VA's Office of the Inspector General. So, getting it straight from the OIG. The VA used the program integrity tool to centralize collected data from community care claims. The OIG said the tool allowed the VA to identify waste, fraud, and abuse, as well as determine if healthcare claims should be billed to the veteran or private insurance companies for the treatment of non-service connected care. I find it beyond baffling and unfortunate and sad that a tool that's designed to prevent fraud, waste, and abuse is responsible for the failure to collect up to $665 million. I mean, that just defies logic to me, but we'll continue here. According to the OIG's report, the VA paused the use for the tool in February of 2023, folks, after becoming aware of issues with its database code logic and compromised stored data. The pause was intended to further evaluate the tool's processes, data documentation, and its underlying information technology system architecture, and determine the cause of the potential data errors and identify improvement opportunities, the report says. Sounds like an OIG report, doesn't it? At the end of the day, the system's not working. It's not working properly, and money is not flowing through it, which doesn't help any of us, right? Especially if you're using community care, especially if you're a taxpayer, right? Continuing here, although the department continued to process and pay out claims that it had received, the watchdog said the Veterans Health Administration's revenue operation has been unable to assess new claims for veteran co-payments or bill private insurers since the pause. That means the OIG report stated that the VHA is missing opportunities to increase available funding for veterans health care. So I think that really says it in a nutshell here. The tool stopped working properly or was identified as problematic or faulty. And so the throughput of money essentially stopped. It says very clearly, this hurts or harms the available funding for veterans health care. So at the end of the day, this is not good for our community. Continuing on here, as a result, there will be a backlog of approximately 40 million paid community care claims that must be processed when the tool comes back online. That's going to take some time here, folks. The report said, adding that it estimates that the suspension of the tool has resulted in approximately 665.5 million in revenue operation collections that have not been recovered as of February of 2024. Presumably, that's when the report kind of went through the CHOP process and then was, preparing at least to be finalized. It looks like that's the point in time when they stopped collecting data. So that number has probably grown since then. The OIG added that the tools used to detect and prevent fraud, waste, and abuse is on hold by the VHA until the tool resumes. In a memo attached to the Watchdog's report, the Office of Information and Technology said it had made significant progress in resolving defects and bringing the program integrity tool back online. Of the 18 defects, including 8 high priority issues and 1 critical issue that the OIT identified in the program integrity tool in a November 2023 review, the department told the watchdog that it has addressed over 1/3 of the identified defects, including 1 critical defect and 3 high priority issues. So good, right? I mean, I understand these things take time, but some questions that come to my mind is, how did we operationalize and deploy a piece of software that's so critical for the veterans community that was flawed in the first place? Now, I get, you could argue, hey, Randy, everything from Apple products to apps on our phone iterate and we get new updates. But anytime there's $665 million worth of money that goes out the door or isn't available, at least right now, to the veteran community or the VA, it's an issue, and we need to get to the bottom of it, and somebody needs to be held accountable. Although the tool is still offline, the OIT says that it has ingested initial data sets from our sources that include data from the VA Choice System, which helps veterans access community care options if VA medical facilities are not close by or have to wait too long. The OIT said source data from the system has undergone rigorous testing, including an independent review, as well as user acceptance testing by revenue operations, and that billing for the data resumed on June 6th. The OIT said it anticipated billing to revenue for some other systems that could also feed into the program integrity tool, such as the electronic claims adjudication management system and the community care reimbursement system, after the watchdog completed its report. So if you're having problems with community care, if the I's aren't being dotted and the T's aren't being crossed, and you become aware of it as it pertains to your case, I suggest you take a little further look into this. Hope this information is helpful to you. And as always, please stay tuned for further updates. You guys have a great day.